Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah. Now, yes, I can. So you can get this groove in the back of a can. You can make it round the world when it holds in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World.
Now it's time for Believe in the ACC with our starting lineup. From Florida State, number 17, Charlie Ward. From Morehead State University, number 50, Lloyd Stan. And from Murray State University, number 2, Kendrick Haskett. Get ready for the best sports show about the ACC in all the land. Believe in the ACC starts now.
We should probably unmute. In all the land. That's how tired we are this morning. I didn't even think to unmute. It never crossed my mind.
It's usually how an audio medium works.
You have to. Production! Get it together. Jesus. Okay. Kendrick Haskett, Lloyd Spence, we're here. We're going to wake ourselves up with with not breaking news, but definitely a significant developing story. To the surprise of no one on earth or anyone with sight, there has been significant conversation. Now, you can decide for yourself how much of it is about buyouts or firings or whatever, but there's definitely been significant conversation with one Bill Belichick about whether or not he should continue on being the coach of the North Carolina football team. Now, my immediate thoughts on hearing this story yesterday. And by the way, there are also significant rumors, if you believe them, that if Bill Belichick is not let go or fired or bought out or whatever, Freddie Kitchens for sure should and could be, because they can't score enough points, as if that's the problem.
But they've only scored 33 points in their losses.
I agree, but that also doesn't account for the 50 and 40 points that are being scored upon them.
They've given up 120 in those losses.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, Kendrick. He can't. He is responsible for his side of the football. That is true.
The timing of that was impeccable, because right when you was talking about the scoring, the graphic came up on Get Up.
Because that's what we do here. We time things out perfectly. I don't. If you pay attention to this show at all, no matter what time you watch it, you know we didn't think this was a good hire to begin with.
That's true.
So, if you're asking us, we're not that surprised. In fact, I would venture to say we're probably both thinking the same thing. Why did it take this long?
Right. Well, I guess you have to give it some time. You got to give it at least 5 games. Yeah, you got to give it at least 5 games to get to this point. But I mean, it's just the wildest part about it is, he's always been the Patriot way has always been no distractions, and he's the biggest distraction on the team. And it's off the field.
You pull up with it with and what's crazy about what you're saying, it's like he's living in an 80s rom-com. He pulls up on campus in probably a Corvette or some kind of weird 80s vehicle.
Trans Am with the bird on the hood.
Right, with the bird on the hood. His girlfriend gets out with boots and a skirt on. She's 20 whatever. It's the wildest thing that you've ever seen. And here's what makes it even wilder than that. This is the same guy that will go down in history as the greatest NFL football coach of all time.
Yep.
Although I must admit at this point, I have to question that.
Oh, it's going to have an asterisk because of his record without Tom Brady.
I'm just saying. This is the weirdest situation, Kendrick, that I think I've seen in coaching in quite some time. Because none of this makes sense. I can't even call this a midlife crisis. Like, he's 70 plus. So it's not a midlife crisis. This is just like
3/4 life?
3/4 life or you're coming to the end of the road and you're looking around and you don't like where you are. You're just like, let me just go back. It's weird. It's a very strange story, but I'm not surprised that UNC is talking to him about moving on. Now, I heard the buyout is $20 million.
Yeah, it's weird. His buyout, I think it's 30. I think his buyout is 30. But if he wants to buy out, he only has to pay like $1 million.
Well, here's the weird part about that. Why would he buy out?
If he got an NFL job, that's basically why it was so low. Is if he refuses to get an NFL job.
Well, let me help you with that. I'll look right in the camera when I say that. Bill, hear me and hear me good. You are never getting another NFL job. That is not going to happen.
I'm not saying never to anything because Bobby Petrino's back head coaching at Arkansas. Jesus. I'm not saying never to anything.
Solid argument, sir. God, it's a solid. I can't even. Man, that's a solid argument. Wow. Just when you think the world made sense, Bobby Petrino enters and throws everything off.
Considering the state of the world right now, it makes total sense.
Also, another solid argument. You're on fire this morning. Clearly, your drink is kicked in. Mine is still working, but that you are on fire this morning. So this all started. If we go through the Week 6 games review, because Clemson beat the the brakes off of North Carolina, but that wasn't surprising.
It's a nice
Everyone knew. Yeah. It wasn't. You're funny. There was no surprise that Clemson was going to beat North Carolina. I don't think there's anybody with good sense.
The score wasn't a surprise either. There was nothing. Right. Only thing surprising is that Clemson didn't score more points. That's where I was headed.
I don't know if Clemson was able to fix anything or gauge anything because North Carolina is so awful. They're so awful. I heard some interesting stuff this morning about the North Carolina situation. 2 great 5-star players or transfer players came into the program in the spring, if I'm understanding.
And left.
Because of the culture of what they immediately saw. I think one went to Penn State. The other went to Ohio State, I believe it was.
I can't remember. I remember the Penn State. I can't remember where the other one went.
I think it was Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken. And then the quarterback that they thought they had ended up somewhere else, like South Alabama or something like that. And then they decided to go with the great Gio Lopez, which that has not worked out at all. It's fascinating because I was talking to one of our insiders on the other program, The Five, Byron Lusby, who used to be the scout for the Colts. He's very familiar with the Patriots and the Patriot way. And he said this comes down to one thing and one thing only. You can't transfer what you did in the NFL to a college team. It doesn't work. You can't.
It's almost two totally different sports.
It's really two totally different sports. And the thing that came out this week is the high levels of toxicity that exist in this program. And I would venture to say what they mean by toxicity is that it's just the intensity and the language and the way that the staff probably coaches them really hard is not a 2025 experience for most colleges. You can't talk or treat the current college player the way you treated them in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. That doesn't work.
Now, because they have Garrick McGee on the staff as the wide receivers coach. I'd love to pick his brain because he was here. He's actually been at Louisville twice. Yeah. So he gets how the college game works. I don't know about the rest of the staff. I just know Garrick McGee. I kind of knew him personally a little bit, but I know he gets it. Now the rest of the staff, I don't know, but I know Garrick gets it.
Well,
but he's a wide receivers coach, so how much say does he have?
I feel like when you started with Mike Lombardi and Freddie Kitchens, you're probably already behind.
Right.
Because those are two guys who don't understand. They were falling apart in the pro game. So you brought them over to this to think they would be better? It doesn't make sense.
I think they all came in with an arrogance that, this will be easy. We did it at the pro level. This will be easy at the college level. We'll be able to run this, be here for a year, and get an NFL gig. I guarantee you that was the mind state coming into this. And it shows.
And by the way, some of it is from a success perspective, maybe slightly earned, except that it's not, as you said earlier, kid, it's not the same game.
That success has not been since Tom Brady left.
Well, listen, maybe Tom Brady has some NIL money or some eligibility that we're not aware of, and he'd come out.
Tom Brady got some NIL money that's going to Michigan.
Well, that's very true. That's very true.
It's probably they could probably use a couple bucks right about now.
They could. I'll just say this, and then also again we've said this before: 70 transfers is wild. That is wild. That's wild work. 70? Whew, man. That's saying I don't like nothing in this building. Everybody go home. This is Joe Clark and Lean on Me. You're all expelled. I wish you well. Now, you're going to be left with nothing.
Yeah.
But good luck with that if that's what you want to do.
And you know, and an odd sort of a way though, that could be the excuse to bring them back.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. But also do you really want the chance? Because you brought in 70 people that don't seem to fit well together. So what's your answer to that? To bring in 70 more? What is your answer to this problem? They're in a wild place in UNC, and it's interesting because they may have set the program back 5 years in 1 year.
Yeah, and it's a program that's like, let's be honest, it's been up and down, and their ups haven't been that high up to begin with in the in the past. And so, but it's also one of the rare programs, especially in the ACC, they might be able to rustle up the $30 million to buy them out.
1,000%. Matter of fact, there's one phone call they can make and probably get the $30 million tonight.
Oh yeah, he can wire that over.
He can wire it over. Who do I send it to? Just let me,
I don't think he would. I think him and Belichick are cool, so I don't see Jordan writing that check. Not in the first year.
They're wearing the shoes.
Right.
At some point, you got to get them people out of your shoes.
Nah, he don't care.
Kobe did that. Kobe did it. Kobe went to the locker room and said, "Y'all can't. None of y'all wear my shoes."
But that's because there was some clowns on the court with him. Jordan's afar.
But they're walking out in Jordan gear. You got to get the folk out your gear.
They got plenty of other college football teams wearing Jordan gear. I think Michigan wearing Jordan gear, and they just won a national championship. So I don't think Jordan's going to care that much. But not in year one. I think because he has some of a relationship with Belichick, I feel like he'll give him more leeway before he writes that check.
Well, he did go to the first game, so there's that.
I just looked over at Himbo, and he had on a bald cap. Remember those from the 80s when they wanted somebody to be bald?
Yeah. Oh, that's right, because he lost the bet or whatever.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
Is that what it was? I'm not going to say what it looked like, but it was funny.
I can only imagine. I have an image in my head.
Why'd you spell out Florida State University?
You know me too well. I can't. That's you know what. You know me too well. We've been friends a long time, and you know my comedy. You know my pity. Because I was shocked, is why I spelled it out. I was shocked.
You picked Miami in that game.
Absolutely picked Miami. Because I wasn't that shocked. I really wasn't that shocked. Listen, we've been saying all along, and I understand what the first few weeks were. I get it. Thomas has played. Well, okay, let me be honest. Thomas has played like Thomas. He looks exactly like he's always looked. He ain't gonna tear up the world. He ain't gonna give you 400 yards passing or 300 yards. That's not what he do. Thomas is Kevin James from Hitch. He's right here. And he gonna give you great right here. But if you asking him to do more than that, that's not gonna happen. I think a guy once, and it's ironic that we're having this conversation because some of the veteran college football quarterbacks this year, to me, they all feel like they're at their ceiling. Drew Allard, Thomas Castellanos. Yeah. I mean, they all feel. The only one that feels like there may be some room for growth is the guy that beat Thomas Castellanos, which is Carson Beck. And I'm not 100% sure that's true either because Ruben Bain is awfully good. And so that defense played well enough to beat Florida State. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on this particular game with Miami?
It went about the way I thought it would. I mean, Florida State made it interesting at the end of the game. But like you said about Castellanos, what we're seeing is Castellanos, what he would look like on a team with better athletes. I mean, now, if I'm a Florida State fan, I wouldn't be entirely upset that we lost the game. Yes, she lost to your rival, but I think the way that Florida State played, especially in the second half and coming back, they could still beat most teams in the conference. And so, and Miami's legit. I mean, I'm not gonna say they're back yet because it's funny because I was listening to Levitar the other, but except for one guy who's my favorite on the show, Billy. But but they are a legit team. They're a legit top 5 team. I would make the case that they shouldn't be number 2 or number 1, just because they've got better wins than Ohio State does, and so they're legit. The young kid they got out there, receiver who's only 17, 18 years old, is a monster, and Carson Beck he looks like Carson Beck from 2 years ago, and so I think that Miami is just legit. This game to me is more about Miami than it is about Florida State.
Carson Beck looks like Georgia made a mistake.
Yeah.
Because Gunnar Stockton doesn't look that great to me. He's okay, but he's not. There's nothing
at
about
the same
him.
time that you say that, because I watched some of that Kentucky game. I don't know if Carson Beck would look that much better than Gunnar does.
A great point. They made for the
Georgia's offensive line is not what it has been in the past.
They may for the first time have missed on their offensive line, which is a rare thing about Georgia, because Georgia offensive line and defensive line normally is every year in and year out the greatest thing that they've done. Mm-hmm. And this, for the first time, it looks like these last 2 years they may have missed on that. Like it's not as consistent as it has been. But Carson Beck listen, he had 4 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And he was dealing. Like he looked really, really solid. And he did what was and by the way, I think they found something in Malachi Tony. Like
Malachi Tony he's a beast.
He's the real deal. He's the real deal. So listen, I have to agree with you. I'm not saying that the U is all the way back, but they're definitely driving down the street where back is. like they look now. I would humbly ask and request that someone give Michael Irvin something to calm him down,
or stop giving him what's getting him so hype.
Or either way, however you want to deal with the problem. Let's Valium works. I hear Valium works, or just take, like you said, just take things away. Just take things away. But
no, you know what? No, let Michael Irvin.
I just feel like he might be a danger to himself at this point.
I mean, at this point, this man's made it this far.
Like, does it really matter at this point? Does it really matter? Okay. So yeah, it's but the recipe for Florida State to win is not Thomas Castellanos throwing 45 times. That's never you're not winning the game that way. And for Miami to have slowed down that running game significantly the way they did, that was really impressive. Okay, the other game that was, I guess, a shocker. You would say a shocker. Virginia U of L. First of all, it was a decent game. Like, it was a solid game to watch. Although I'll say this, I thought Louisville would pull it out, and they did not. But I think it's because that running. I just don't think Isaac and Duke are healthy, and that's the strength of the team. They have to be healthy for this team to be successful.
It's a combination of things. You know, you were laughing at my setup at the game on Saturday because I was at this game and I had my iPad with the 4-box going.
Yeah, you
did. But Louisville gave this game away. 100%. Let's just be honest. They totally gave this game away. No disrespect to Virginia. I thought Louisville played the better game, except for 2 plays. And so, but they were just bad plays. You're driving down the field, going for it on 4th and 1, and you run a simple pitch, and it just bounces off of Duke's hands. Yeah. I mean, Isaac's hands. And it's a scoop and score, a 60-yard scoop and score. Yeah. And then Miller Moss, bro, you gotta just take the sack right there. And even though I'm not clear on the rule about his arm being down and then he popping back up and throwing the ball. Either way, I'm like, that play was so stupid that even if he should have been down, if he was dumb enough to throw that pass, then he needs to pay the consequences for it. You know, I mean, you see a play like even on the opposite side of it, you see a play that's so good and they call it back, and I'm like, even if they cheated on there, you gotta let them have that. That's what I felt. I mean, because outside of you take those two plays away, that's possibly 21 points that Louisville has in their favor. Because you take those you take 14 out the board for Virginia, and Louisville was driving on that first possession when they fumbled and they scooped and scored. They probably would have scored at least a field goal on that play. So that's 17 to 21 point swing right there. And you playing a good team, you can't do that against good teams. And Virginia's a very good team.
That's an interesting statement you just made, because the numbers would say otherwise. Chandler Morris was 19 of 31 for 149 yards.
The shocking thing about that too was he didn't hardly ever run the ball in the game. He started running it a little bit in the fourth quarter. Then he got obliterated on the goal line in overtime. But he didn't run the ball that much. I guess it's a tribute to Louisville's defense that they kept him in the pocket. But they played well, but I feel like the game plan was never for him to run the ball anyway, because there's never any, quarterback draws or anything like that, or quarterback runs in their game plan that seemed like. But again, on the bright side for Louisville, the defense played well again. Like I said, they held Virginia to 16. Yeah, because the offense gave up 14.
It's you can't. You know what? One of the thing that sticks in my cross sometimes is when a good team hands a bad team a win as if they're a good team, and that's what happened. I don't know if Virginia's good. I know they got two good wins, and they beat two good teams. Now, the best part about where Louisville is right now is that they're 4-1, and while they have. I fully expect Virginia to lose some more games in this season. But also Louisville has a chance to redeem themselves literally next Friday. Because if they can beat Miami, and by the way, I don't know, to be quite honest with you. That game is at Louisville or at Miami?
It's at Miami.
It's at Miami, okay.
On Friday night.
And by the way, people are showing up to Miami games now. So that the home advantage is not there anymore. But I'll say this: if Louisville can get Isaac healthy, can get Duke healthy, can remember that Chris Bell plays for them.
Well, they remembered on Saturday. And no, you can't take nothing from that man on Saturday. He had 12 catches for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. They knew he was out there.
I'm just saying, keep that at the forefront of your mind, because he is a difference maker. They have the home run hitters on offense. And then Miller Moss has to be risk averse. Like, just calm down, live to fight another day when it's time to live to fight another day, and stop putting the ball in harm's way. If he can,
just like when he gets really nervous and gets real happy feet when he gets pressured.
Well, 100%.
And to be at this stage in the game of his career, it seems like he'd be able to calm down on that. But
you would think.
But it hasn't happened yet. He's gets really nervous when he's under pressure. But then he has big plays. He'll have those throws like when they had a 3rd and 20, right? And hits a 31-yard dart on a line, and it shows you why he was, one of the top recruits coming out of high school. And so it is a bit of a learning curve when he's totally. I mean, the way he's playing quarterback now is totally different from any way he's ever played quarterback. There is that. But all of that has nothing to do with being nervous when you get blitzed. Absolutely.
I'll say this. I'll just say this about the upcoming game, not this week, but next week. This is the game usually that Coach Brown wins. Like the one that you thought, oh man, there's no way there. This is the one he normally wins. As a matter of fact, if I had to guess, looking at the pattern, this is the one he's been preparing for all season.
And if you had to guess, and you looked at it, it's also the game that Miami tends to lose.
It is the game that they tend to lose. That they take their eyes off of the ball and go, oh, we thought we could. Yeah.
If Louisville hadn't lost that game, came in undefeated, maybe not. But with them Louisville having lost that game at home to Virginia, this is a game that Miami tends to slip up.
So I'm going to ask you this question now. I was going to wait till later, but I'm going to ask this question now. Is the ACC a league of parity right now, or is this bad play?
I think college football as a whole is parity.
I 1,000% agree.
Because you look across the board, it's like the only team standing out right now are Ohio State and Miami. I guess Oregon to an extent, but
I would say Oklahoma's defense is standing out. Their defense, not Mateer because he's out, but the defense is pretty good. Looks pretty good. I feel so bad for Arch Manning. I feel so bad for Arch Manning this weekend. Man. We'll get into that later, but man, that's gonna be bad. But yes, it could be a little bit of both in all honesty, because the people that you thought were going to be good, they are not good.
Mm-hmm.
And so that part is not parity. What Texas is, what Penn State is, what that the fact that Penn State, Texas, and Florida State were all in the top 5 and now they're out of the rankings altogether. That's just bad football.
Well, a lot of it is the overreactions to anything that happens SEC wise. Penn State deserves to be out of the top 25 after losing
without question.
But Florida State moving from unranked to 8th from beating Alabama is just because the AP voters just think the SEC hangs the moon. And then when Florida, because as soon as Florida State lost, they dropped 10 spots, and when they lost to Virginia, then they dropped all the way out of the top 25 from losing to the now number 3 team in the country. Right. it just doesn't make any sense. Because
no rhyme or reason.
Right. And then Alabama wins a couple of games, and now they're back in the top 10. It's just stupid.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. And they beat a Vanderbilt team that most of us think is just okay anyway. So
and the thing is, Vanderbilt is good. I mean, Vanderbilt's definitely a top 25 team. But if we're being honest, I think Vanderbilt would probably be number 2 in the ACC. But
wow, okay,
yeah. When they went in Alabama, they was right there. But but the SEC, but again, even with them, so they dropped a little bit, but once they beat Tennessee, Vanderbilt's going to drop. Vanderbilt can finish 4th or 5th in the SEC and still have a legit shot at the college football playoff because they're in the SEC.
That's true. That's because they're in the SEC. Let's run through the rest of the games. Boston College and Pitt, no surprise here. Pitt is an incredibly difficult place to play. And they hung. The fact they hung 48 is shocking to me. Like, where did those 48 points come from?
These teams right here are the reasons why the ACC gets the rep that they do.
Now, let me be very clear also, though. Pitt is out of the Eli Holstein business. They are now in the Mason Hexel business. That dude threw for 323 and 4 touchdowns, which leads you to believe where has he been and why has he hadn't started. Like, why did you wait to put this guy in the game? Has Eli Holstein ever thrown for 300 yards? That's the real question.
Yeah, if he played against Boston College, he may have.
He may have. Wake Forest did Wake Forest things. As we said, is a possibility. They did Wake Forest things. They beat Virginia Tech and did enough in the first 3 quarters, specifically in the second quarter, to put them away. And Virginia Tech had nothing. And by the way, Virginia Tech has no coach. So there's that. NC State would like to thank Campbell for their contribution to.
Here's your check and here's the door.
Here's the check and here's the door. And we appreciate you for showing up and giving us our confidence back. I feel so bad for Syracuse, man, because they started the season on fire, and I feel as though they would have been in the mix had their quarterback not had a season-ending injury.
Yeah. I feel bad for him too.
Yeah, I feel really bad for him, but I am concerned about SMU. SMU won this game 31-18, but here's the stat that you walk away with going, what's going on? Syracuse put 15 up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that just makes me think that SMU just took their foot off the gas.
Yeah, if you're a coach, you don't love that though. You don't love that you got to put these teams away. Just put them away completely and be done with it. Let's move on to next week. Like, why are we mucking around with this? So SMU there's something significantly not right with SMU right now, and I don't know what that is. Apparently
I think it's we got film on you now.
I think it's a little bit of that, and they're younger. I think they lost a lot of older parts, and the youth of that team is really showing. Listen, don't kid yourself. The best team in North Carolina is Duke right now. Duke is balling. They are balling. They traveled across country to California. Was like time zone. We don't care. Here, take this 45.
Again, some of the teams in this conference. Just last week we saw how easy California's schedule is.
California could run the table. Maybe not. I don't know, man. The ACC has done itself no favors this year by being so inconsistent as far as who the better teams are. And so the wins that you think the team should have, they're not getting it. I think I picked Duke. I know I picked Duke.
I think I picked California. I picked California. I'm not for sure.
Yeah, I just don't.
I'm pretty sure it's
wild. Yeah, it's wild where we are with the ACC this season because we don't know. Week to week, we really don't know.
Because Duke came into the season looking like they were going to be formidable. Then they got busted at home by Illinois, and then they lost. They had another loss in there too.
They had another loss. Yeah.
Was it NC State?
I believe it could have been NC State. Let me confirm that while you continue to banter. No, it was Tulane. It was Tulane.
Yeah. It was because it was the battle of the quarterback.
We were like, well, they're not very good. And then they come back and now they're on a 3-game winning streak. And they're all ACC wins.
That doesn't sound good for the ACC either.
No, it doesn't. It's very problematic because the national narrative is that the ACC is the least of the Power 4 conferences. And we're not doing anything to fix that narrative. Because now Charlie would say, and I tend to agree with him, well, we just got a lot of competitive teams. I think that's true. But also, not having a good Miami-Florida State game when you're the featured game is problematic to the narrative. Mm-hmm. That's why Miami-Louisville needs to be good. It needs to be a good game. And one of them, it would be great if one of them could really dominate the game. But I don't know if we're going to get that either. It's just very, very weird right now in the ACC. Let's get into the other stuff that happened this weekend. Alabama did beat Vanderbilt at home.
Game wasn't as close as the score. The score wasn't as close as the game was.
Not as close as it looks, but also Alabama fans, calm down. Those are kids.
Right.
Those are kids.
You a grown ass man, dog.
Right.
You a grown man yelling at, man, calm down, dude. You not even playing. Probably ain't never put a helmet on in his life, and you out there trying to fight with the quarterback. Man, go somewhere and sit down.
Right. Couldn't have said it better myself. Wisconsin and Michigan. Michigan can run the ball. I don't know if they can do anything else, but they can run the ball. Haney is outstanding. At some point, you got to start talking about Haney. Haney needs a signature game. That's his only problem. He just needs some signature game, and then you might be able to talk about him at least being able to go. Let me just stop right here, because this is an interesting question. I hadn't even thought about this until just now. Who's the Heisman favorite right now? Because I did hear Carson Beck's name, but I would.
But see, I mean, I said it last week. I've been saying it for a few weeks. Like, Ruben Bain needs to be up there. And I'm starting to hear it more and more on national shows now, which is nice.
If you let your eyes speak for you, Ruben Bain is the best player in college football. If you're willing to let your eyes speak for you. And I know that because Florida State spent the entire game double teaming him, and he was still wrecking the house. So I'm just saying that's the best player. Ruben Bain and Jeremiah Smith, two best players in college football, right?
Right.
So
Jeremiah Smith is right now. I think Jeremiah Smith is probably the front runner. I do think Carson Beck should be in there. I think they'll split votes.
I think it's very much up for grabs, though. I don't think.
It's definitely up for grabs. I'm just saying, if I had to pick a front runner, it would be Jeremiah Smith.
I agree. Oh man, this game here, Nilly, and in the words of
Keith Jackson,
the legend Keith Jackson. Whoa, Nilly, I didn't.
Speaking of Nilly,
man. Yeah, look at him, Coach Junior is in the building. And he's adjusted his camera, apparently. There you go. How you doing, Coach?
I can't even see him.
Oh, you can see him? Okay.
There he is.
How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well. Just heading to work.
Are you required to wear? Are you required to wear something Florida A&M every single day?
No, but
okay. I was
days,
just asking.
I mean, if he's going to practice, I mean,
I was just gonna say. Listen, to me, that's awesome because it makes my wardrobe selection easy every single day. I just get up and grab the next Florida A&M gear that I have.
Right.
So that makes it very easy. But I was just curious.
I saw their photo shoot on IG the other day. It's a nice looking photo shoot for the Rattlers.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it on their page or Charlie's page?
On Charlie's page.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's good.
Was it yesterday?
I think at this point all my days are running together. So if you told me it was last week, I would. But I think it was yesterday.
Because we had media day yesterday.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Well, listen, Charlie, you are a very fashionable guy, and we understand that you are out here on these streets.
Yeah, it was a SWAC media day. That's what I saw, Charlie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that is, I'm going to tell you, Charlie, that is a good-looking jersey, sir.
They've
You
got
guys look good.
That orange and green just
The
pops.
jersey. Yeah, and for some reason they only wore those jerseys, those uniforms one time last year. I don't know why.
Really? It looks fantastic. Yeah. I'd favor those if I'm being honest with you. That looks really good. Those are really nice jerseys. Charlie, ironically, you came in, and we'll definitely give you an opportunity to talk about the Florida State Miami game in a minute. But you came in at a time where we were just about to talk about Texas, Florida. And you would be the perfect person to talk about preseason hype over the reality. And it is I'll say this. This is my opinion. I think it is unfortunate that the media, overhyped. Excuse me. That's never happened on this show. The media may have, definitely overhyped Arch Manning to the point where he has not only has he not met the expectations, but he doesn't even have room to grow into the expectations. And so his quote unquote bad play is so glowing in their program that it looks like it's his fault when it really isn't, in my opinion. But I'd love to hear your thoughts about how does that happen? What are you supposed to do about it? Can he overcome it?
Yeah, I mean, I made the. I don't know if I actually got caught up in. I sent a message to somebody, and it got spread it all over the news. Um, but I was in a very similar situation as Arch. You know, coming in my junior year, I wasn't as hyped or had the big name as he had. Well, I'll say that in some form because I did play basketball before I started playing football
Right,
at the quarterback position. So the name recognition people knew from basketball, and they knew that I was a quarterback. So in some form, it's very similar. But the thing that's the same is we both had very little experience playing the position, um, and and so my first 4 or 5 games as the starting quarterback, I struggled mightily with throwing interceptions, turning the ball over, but the thing that was different for was we were able to. Our defense was really, really good, and they kept us in games. And we were able to, win Miami, but we won all our games. Experience, how to protect the football, make the right decisions, what have you. It's glaring for Texas because they're playing some really good teams, and they're losing games by 7 points, and the games are competitive or close. I know people say the Florida,
and there it is. And Charlie is trying to, and I tend to think, I think I understand his point. I agree with him saying, listen, Arch can't go win the game by himself. He's going to need some help. And by the way, his offensive line has done him no favors because Florida.
That's very saying all of this.
It's
it. The offensive line was god awful in that last game, and so
they were teeing off on him.
Yeah, I mean, you can put Tom Brady in his prime back there, and it wasn't going to make a difference.
It wasn't going to make a difference
playing the way they were. So
absolutely.
There he is.
Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened.
No problem, sir.
But I was saying that I'm not sure where I left off, but I was saying that we both have the same type of experience. We had no experience, so we struggled early to try to figure it out. And the difference, I know one of the differences during my time, we were able to win all of those close games, except for the Miami game. We ended up losing by 3 points. But we had a solid defense. We played really good complementary football. The kicking game was solid. And so we were able to stay in games while I was struggling because I was throwing a lot of interceptions, turned the football over a lot as well. But I was also, of course, trying to mix and match. I was throwing some touchdowns and running touchdowns to make it work a little bit. But I think the biggest challenge that I see with arches in this day and age is different because of all the social media, all the hype, and all the different things,
yes.
and the pressure is like, I got to do X, Y, Z, and I got to feel like I got to get X, Y, Z done in order to, help our team be successful. I mean, these are great times for him. I know he had some moments early on here lately that he's had to, sit back and try to figure it out. But the good thing about it is they have all the resources needed to be able to help him figure it out. He just has to go out and continue to put the time in to prepare and work towards, making better decisions at the right time and also, the run game or whomever it may be, everybody needs to help him out, so it doesn't feel like he has to make all of the plays, even though they're only asking him to make a few plays. So it's just he has to continue to mature and grow. I mean, that's essentially what it comes down to.
There are so many great things that you just said there, and I think there's a couple that I really like to highlight. One of the biggest things that you said that I think I'm agreeing is an understatement there. Arch don't have to go be a superhero. And it feels like a lot of times when he's playing, that's what he's trying to do because so much pressure is on him from the fact that he took as much NIL money as he did, to the fact that social media is on him, on his neck right now, to the fact that it's Texas, and Texas has a big old gigantic spotlight on him. And by the way, this Oklahoma game could not have come at a worse time for him, because that's not the get right game. That defense that Oklahoma has is going to be intense, and also it appears that John Mateer is going to play. So now you're going to have the comparison of Mateer, who left with his injury as a Heisman hopeful and probably will pick up where he left off, compared to the guy who everyone thought was going to be not just a Heisman hopeful, but the number one pick in the draft. It's a lot of pressure in one spot for a kid who, like you said, which is the other thing I think should be highlighted, is in his first year and he's trying to figure it out. It's not as easy to figure this out in real time as a lot of people think that it is.
Well, I'll say that, you said that it was not the best time for him to, playing against Oklahoma. Well, I'll say this is a great time because he gets to play against another solid defense and prove people that he can play at this level in a sense. And so I think it's just a mindset shift that, this is a great opportunity for me to shine because it's on a national stage against a very good opponent, and I get a chance to rewrite the ship, because the last time I was on the road, we didn't get it done against Florida, against Ohio State. This is very similar because it's a neutral site game, and so he'll be in the same boat where he gets another opportunity. And that's the one thing you, as competitors, you're excited about, because you get multiple opportunities to be on these stages, and that's how you build your credibility with people and your name.
Yeah, I agree with Charlie. I was going to say the same thing. If he comes out and has a big game against Oklahoma, the narrative changes back the other direction again. So this is a big spot for him. And like we were saying too, other people got to show up for him. Offensive line has got to show up for him. They've got to find some form of a running game. It's not all on Arch. The reason why they're struggling. Arch actually played pretty well against Florida, considering the circumstances where he was throwing from his back all game long. But I think this is a huge opportunity, a huge spot for him against Oklahoma.
I worry that his ability to block out the noise is where it's challenging for him, because it's a lot. Like it's a lot. They're crucifying him on TV shows. Social media said he's overhyped, and he's got to block out the noise and make it about football, make it about making plays and going out on the field. So that's one of the and then this is the game. This is the game that makes or breaks your like for Sarkisian, he was able to get the win last year. As long as Texas works this way, as long as you keep winning Oklahoma, you at least half your job is done every year. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can block out all of the noise and just make it about. And I think the game plan needs to be get the ball out fast. If the offensive line is not what you thought it was going to be, then get the ball out faster, and let Arch maybe take off on some of those plays as opposed to trying to stand back there and make pocket passes. Maybe he needs to get out and run a little bit more. I don't know, but it's just an interesting situation to be in at this point in the season because they need the signature win. They need it.
Yeah, I mean they do, but like I said, right now they just need to focus on themselves. I mean, I know you got the big game coming up with Oklahoma, but I think Texas needs to focus more on themselves right now, and then the opponent.
Okay. Going forward. Oh well, we got to go back. We got to go back before we talk about the thing. Your thoughts, Coach Junior, on your
Florida State University, as it says on the bottom of the screen.
You didn't have to do that. He would have saw it. He would have saw it on his own.
I wanted to make sure. I just wanted to make sure he saw it.
Your thoughts on your Your thoughts on the game, sir.
So this game was very, very similar to the game that we played against Miami my senior year, where the game was won by us because we made big plays at the crucial time, and so this game was very similar. Like, Miami goes 28-3, and then you have this comeback in the fourth quarter where Florida State scores 19 unanswered points to close the gap, to 28-22, to give themselves at least a chance to be respectable or whatever you want to call it. But the biggest key was we had 3 turnovers. They didn't. And those turnovers were at least 2 of them. I know one was a 4th down, which probably should have been a punt to just play field position. And the other 2 were just, I think I'm drawing a blank. I think one was an interception in the end zone, which was a good play by the defender. He kept his eyes on the ball and he made the play. He didn't try to chase the receiver down, and you know how most people do when they feel like they're beat. They start chasing the receiver down, the head be turned and run into the guy. He kept his eyes on the ball the whole time, and then he went up and made a play. So the ball, could have probably thrown a little further, deeper in the end zone to run through it. Been better, but had a little pressure. But you take away, 2 of those interceptions or turnovers and keep the drives going and get points, you could have made up those 6 points. I mean, those six points that you were down because of possessions. And so, I mean, it was a typical Miami, Florida State game, competitive game. When it was all said and done, even though it looked like Miami dominated the game, which for the most part, they did. They handled the business. But if you look at the stat sheet, it would be hard to tell that Miami dominated the game. And so that's the thing. It's like this tale of multiple games within a game, because Miami for 3 quarters, had control of the game, and then all of a sudden, Florida State go on this run, they get stops and they score, put together drives, even though one was like 19 plays, to get a score, but we're sitting back wondering, like, why didn't this happen during the first 3 quarters, in a sense? But some of that was aided by these turnovers, as I've talked about, to start some of those drives that they were on, which were killers. But when it's all said and done, Miami, they're a really good team. They played well. Carson Beck, they did a good job of max protecting for him to be able to get some throws off. People like, well, where's the pass rush? Well, they max protect, and they were sending like two or three guys out in a route. And Malachi, what's Malachi's last name? Tony. He's one of them Tony dudes. I'm sure he's in the Tony. He's in the Tony family.
Yes.
From South Florida. From South Florida, and I mean the guy got the ball, and like nobody could touch him. Which, that was, if you weren't on him and he got space, it was going to be hard to tackle.
He made you pay. He made you pay.
Yeah, he's a game breaker.
Yeah, he made you pay. So that leaves us record-wise with Charlie at 23-11, Kendrick at 24-10, me at 22-11, because I didn't get my extra game that I was hoping to get this weekend. Texas, I bet on Texas. It happens. But nevertheless, I want to try something different because I know Charlie's a busy man these days, a very busy man as he prepares for a fantastic season. Charlie, we're going to go through your picks right now, and then that way we can let you do your thing, sir, and have the rest of your day. So Charlie, Pitt, and I discovered, Kendrick, that the AP still has Florida State at 25. It's the coaches poll that kicked them out. So
I go by the AP. Coaches poll is just some intern filling out a sheet. I go by the AP poll.
Exactly. There's no way coaches are watching that many games. Still hanging on. So obviously you can pick an FSU on that one, right? We can move from that game. Stanford and SMU. There was no reason to, come on. We know.
I'm going with SMU.
SMU on that one.
Even though they're struggling, to find their way like they were last year.
They really are.
Kevin Jennings, for some reason, is different. I don't know.
I was telling Lloyd, it feels like it's that we got film on you now type of stuff.
It's some of that. It's some of that, but also I think it's a young team, and they're not. It hasn't gelled yet.
Well, I'm going SMU anyway.
All right. Virginia Tech and the number 13 team in the country, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
I'm gonna go with Virginia Tech. They've been playing well here lately. They've been playing here well lately.
Are you angling to be the head coach of Virginia Tech?
I think it's down to him and Michael Vick at this point. One of them is gonna take on the responsibility.
Virginia Tech's been playing well. Let's give them credit. Since they fired their coach, they have played well.
They played better. They have played much better for sure. NC State, Notre Dame. This was right in front of touchdown Jesus. Yeah. Wake Forest and Oregon State. And it's at Oregon State.
Yeah, I'm going Oregon State just because they got to fly all the way out. But Wake Forest is not bad. I mean, they've been playing okay. I don't know if it's the teams they played. They played Georgia Tech tough, but they were at home.
Yeah. They did. They almost beat them. And then
the quarterback got hurt, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then Clemson and Boston College.
I'm going Clemson. Clemson seems like they're, I don't know, they seem like they're trying to figure their way out of what they were in, and lo and behold, they'll be 9-3.
Yeah, that's true.
Hopefully 8-4 because they got Florida State on the schedule.
They play Louisville, so hopefully 7-5.
Oh, 7-5.
Right. Okay, so the final BLEAV in the ACC games, you got Arkansas and Tennessee. A brand new regime takes over.
I'm going with Tennessee.
Oh, that's the game you want because you had other options on this one.
Well, I see the other options, but I look at this one first.
I'll see the other options, but I'm taking a layup.
The other options aren't great, if I'm being honest. The other options aren't great. Ohio State, Illinois, Alabama, Missouri,
That's
Indiana. Indiana, Oregon is tough as well.
Tough one too.
And then Oklahoma, Texas. Yeah, this is a tough week. So the layup, Charlie said, I'm taking the layup for sure. All right. Thank you, Mr. Ward. We appreciate you. Go continue to make the Rattlers great again.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
Best all right, part brother. Of my
God
week.
bless you. The best part of the week. It's not even close. All right, brother.
All right, man.
So yeah, I
he's so funny in so few words.
He's so funny. Yes. Let me get into these games for us now as we go through our week 7 picks, and we'll go back to Pitt and Florida State. What are your thoughts on this one? This pretty simple on this one.
Yeah. Angry bunch of Seminoles, an inconsistent Pitt team playing away from home. Yeah, give me Florida State.
I will agree with you, sir. It appears that Florida State has some. They can't afford to drop anymore, and I don't think this is the game. If this had been at Pitt, I might have picked Pitt. But because it's at Florida State, I think they'll have enough to pull it through. Stanford, SMU.
SMU, please.
SMU. Oh, man. I don't want to overthink this one.
Don't overthink this one.
I don't want to overthink this one. I really don't.
Don't overthink this one. If somebody's trying to beat you, I still don't want you to overthink this one.
Just don't overthink this one. I'm going to definitely go SMU, but Stanford is annoying. They are so annoying because they'll show up and then they'll do a thing and you'll be like, how did they do that? Like,
and they'll show up and then you watch the broadcast and half the broadcast is talking about Andrew Luck.
Right. By the way, I think they just got like a $50 million donation. So
$50 million. You think he got Chelsea Clinton?
Chelsea Clinton, right? $50 million. Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech. I do not agree with Charlie in this one. Give me Georgia Tech.
Not at all.
Give me Georgia Tech. I don't know where he got that Virginia Tech from. But he can have it. He can definitely have it. We'll appreciate him giving us that win. NC State and Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame is right the ship. So
I think so too.
Yeah.
But NC State with their inconsistent self.
And 2 words, the best 2 words in running back college football right now.
Right.
Hollywood Smothers.
They're built to beat Notre Dame. They're a team that Notre Dame struggles with. But they are so wildly inconsistent. So I'm just going to go with Notre Dame, but I would not be surprised if NC State pulled off the upset.
You took the words right out of my mouth. It would not surprise me if North Carolina State went in there and beat them somehow. Wake Forest, Oregon State. I don't know.
Both of them are.
Oregon State has not won a game. They are 0-6.
They are? I thought they had a win.
They have not. They have not won a game. I don't think this is the week where they pull it off.
Yeah. But that being the case, because I was thinking they had a win, but wow.
No.
I'll go Wake Forest.
Yeah,
what time is that game?
It's at 2:30, which would be noon, 12:30 game in Oregon.
I love how the Pac-12 is still called the Pac-12.
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
Let's see. Oh, wow. I mean, not only are they 0-6, have you really looked into it?
I have not.
they've scored 110 points. They've given up 210.
Yeah, it's not going to go well.
See, yeah, let me go ahead and go with Wake Forest.
Let me say this. You can't call your Pac-12 when your conference championship game is decided the day the season starts.
Do they play each other the first game of the season?
No, it doesn't matter. There's only 2 teams in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
That's the conference championship.
Yeah, whenever they play each other, that's the conference championship.
That's the conference championship. It's over. It's so let's not even.
I thought they were supposed to be bringing in like San Jose State and all that stuff. Whatever happened to that?
Who wants to live in a dilapidated building?
I mean, you got to build it up somewhere.
You have to build it up, but you also got to find, like right now, it's Mediterranean Avenue. Like, what are we talking about?
I'm still trying to figure out why they're hanging on and not moving on to another conference. But
they need to move on, but you know,
but Pullman and wherever Oregon State is, it's not exactly.
There's probably some many financial reasons why they're still holding on and call themselves the Pac-12.
I guess that's the only thing.
Expiring contract, TV contracts where they can make a little bit more.
I mean, Washington State's got some. Well, both of them got some alumni that could contribute.
They do, but they're not. They are not. And then I think we're all probably going Clemson here.
Yes.
If only for the reason that Boston College is so awful.
Right.
All right. For you, what are you doing? You doing BLEAV in the ACC game? Charlie took Arkansas, Tennessee.
I know.
Layup.
I mean, immediately.
Didn't
I mean, the graphic wasn't even all the way up yet, and Charlie took
right.
it.
I'm not even sure I announced the actual game. I think he saw Arkansas and Tennessee. This is easy. Ohio State, Illinois is.
I think that's the second layup. No, it's not.
You don't think so?
No, Ohio State, and I'm taking that game.
You're taking Ohio State.
I don't know why Illinois is ranked. You can't get beat by 50 and stay ranked.
It does feel disingenuous.
Only, and like I said, because this system is so geared for the SEC and the Big Ten, you can't lose by 50 and stay ranked. Get out of here with that. Very disingenuous. I'm like, 12? Really? 17? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, give me Ohio State all day in that game.
I'm gonna say Alabama. I'm gonna say Alabama continues to ride the wave, and they pull out a much needed and challenging win against Missouri. Although, if I'm being honest, I'm not confident.
That conference is so weird though, because I bet this is the first time Alabama's played at Missouri since Missouri joined the SEC.
Probably. I don't remember them playing there.
I can't ever remember them playing, period. I guarantee they haven't played there.
Exactly. Okay. This is from Adam Schefter. Inside the NBA, produced by TNT Sports from its Atlanta studios, will make its ESPN debut across 2 nights of season-opening NBA action, Wednesday, October 22nd, and Thursday, October 23rd. The pregame show will air from 6 to 7 on October 22nd and on ESPN2 and ESPN, and on 6:30 to 7:30 on October 23rd on ESPN. Here's the one that we all want to hear. The post-game shows will begin on ESPN both nights immediately following the doubleheader. So far.
So everything's staying the same so far.
So far.
It's just different nights.
Everything is staying the same. We don't know yet what official night they're going to have. So I guess that announcement is coming later. But so far, everything is staying the same. We will see.
It seems like they would have had time to figure out the official night. The schedule's been out for a while, and we know the national schedule when ESPN has games.
Feels like this isn't that hard, but also this is ESPN. So let's just see how this works out.
The ESPN usually has the Friday night games.
I agree.
So, I mean, I could see them having angst for Friday because I don't think the ratings are as well on Friday as they are during the week. And so
I think once football season is over, yes, Friday would be ideal actually, because that gives them the lead in on the weekend. It could boost not only just the NBA coverage but also the college basketball coverage. So it just got to be that grab everybody and let's have a great sports weekend type thing. But we'll see. We'll see. I have only one request of ESPN. Don't muck up my favorite show. That's it.
Right.
Leave them alone. Let them do what they do. Put them on so I can see them. If you want to put them on more, I am totally okay with that. Although I don't think they're going to do that, but we'll see. But just don't.
And the hang up might be them.
Could be.
Especially Barkley, because Barkley does not want to work for ESPN.
He is not thrilled, even though publicly he has said he is. I don't think he is thrilled to be working for ESPN. I think there is massive trepidation that they're going to pull the okie doke on him and get them in the building, and all of a sudden they're on Get Up in the morning or First Take, once a week. And I think that's what they're afraid of, which I legitimately think is.
They start doing stuff like putting more of the ESPN people on their show.
Which nobody wants.
No. If they want to bring him in every now and then, it's fine. Like, because, as much as he gets on our nerves, it is kind of funny when Stephen A. is on there.
Right.
And but don't make that every week.
Right.
Make that an every now and then thing. I think Malika would be fine coming in and out on air. Him and Charles and Kendrick Perkins don't get along, so that would be funny.
That would be hilarious. To see all three of them arguing together could be good TV.
And it would sound like the countryest argument ever between Charles and Kendrick Perkins.
No question about it. No question. Who can out-country the other person? That's the real challenge of that situation. But again, I just don't want to muck it up. Just let it's the greatest show on TV. I am curious to see what's going to happen with this NBA show on NBC with Michael Air Jordan. What Michael Jordan are we going to get?
I don't know. I don't have very much confidence in it, if I'm being honest. Just because I see Wayne Gretzky on the hockey show, and I'm like, he's just there because he's Wayne Gretzky. Tom Brady's just there because he's Tom Brady. And I got a feeling Mike's going to be there just because he's Mike. Because Mike's never really said anything. The only time we saw inside the mic is when he gave his Hall of Fame speech. And that was like, let's put that back under wraps.
Yeah. If I've said this before, I'll say it again. If Mike gives us Ahmad Rashad, Quinn Buckner, we chilling Mike, it's going to be a great show. But if he gives us buttoned up, I can't mess up these Jordan sales, Mike, it's going to be awful. He'll be more Emmitt Smith than anything.
And Ahmad Rashad got to be somewhere. The youngest looking 80-year-old man on earth.
Right. I'll be honest with you. I would pull Ahmad out the mothballs and be like, let him guide this show, because that, to me, he would get the best out of Jordan.
Yes, agreed.
He would get the best out of Jordan. So we'll see what happens. It will be very, 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 very interesting. It's going to be interesting.
It's crazy. The NBA season is going to be interesting enough, but I think off the court with the broadcast is going to be every bit as interesting as the league itself.
I agree, 100%.
Which could work out. It could be a good thing for the league, especially to see the Amazon broadcast, to see what they're able to do with it. With NBA on NBC is going to be, with the Inside the NBA is going to be on ESPN. All of that's going to be interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And I've got to feel. I think especially early on in the season when people are still kind of getting acclimated to the NBA being back, the conversation is going to be about the broadcast.
100%.
And the fact that somehow Wemby grew another 2 inches. Did you see that?
I did. I was what? Wait, what? I think he grew like 2 inches.
Yeah,
he grew like 2 inches and then put on like 5 or 10 pounds of muscle. And I'm like, what? How did that happen? Like, how old is this kid? Like, is he
All right, how's he still growing after 20?
Right. That's all I'm saying. I'm like, are they lying about his age? Is he really 16? Like, what are we doing right now?
I mean, you look at his face, he does still look 16.
I'm just saying. 2 inches is a lot. 2 inches is a lot for a guy that was already 7'3". Like, right. What are we talking about?
2 inches in 6 months.
Right. I don't know. That's weird to me, but okay. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting. I cannot wait to see what all that unfolds to be over the next couple of days. I am wearing duality obviously today because shout out to my Giants who play the Eagles tonight, and then also shout out. It's gonna be what it is. Like I just don't want to see the turnovers.
Like I said yesterday, I think the Eagles are starting to fall apart.
Well, listen, I ain't gonna be mad at the Giants' victory tonight, and the defense is gonna make. Is gonna make it interesting. They'll make it.
Defense will make it interesting. If Jackson can protect the ball, you'll be in that game.
We'll be in the game. I got to give the WNBA all the shout out. Although this is not the series that they wanted, going into a 7-game series for the first time.
Right. First time it goes 7 games. It's so sweet.
They were looking for at least 6 games. Right. And by the way, the Aces almost tricked this one off. They were up like 15, and they almost tricked this one off. So I got to give Elisa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner a lot of credit for kind of anchoring that comeback in the fourth quarter. But to me, one of the most gangster things I've ever seen is watching Asia Wilson beat DeWanna Bonner and Elisa Thomas as a couple. Shooting over both of them for the game winner. Like, oh wow, they got to go home and talk about that. They got to spend the rest of the night discussing that. That's not that makes for an awkward evening. Girl, right. I thought you had him. So yeah, so that was weird. But listen, Asia Wilson is a cheat code. She is a cheat code, and she is by far the best WNBA player in the league. Although there are some that are coming.
And I think what this season shows me is that they were bored during the regular season.
Very possible.
Same thing I say about the Dodgers in baseball. They were bored in the regular season.
Yeah.
Because my coworker Dusty, he's a giant Dodgers fan.
Yeah.
And he's one person that gets mad over game 132. I'm like, why do you care about this game? Why are you worried about game 95? But I was like, dude, this team's bored. That's like they'll turn it on in the playoffs. This team is bored.
Well, I'll tell you who wasn't bored last night. The doggone Blue Jays.
No, they weren't bored at all.
They seem very engaged.
Vlad Guerrero hasn't been bored at all in these playoffs.
Oh, man.
He has been amazing.
Vlad Guerrero doing his best Aldis Garcia impersonation from 2 years ago. Like, he is killing it right now.
I'm telling you now, out there, if I'm all in on these baseball playoffs. If you haven't been watching the baseball playoffs this year, you're missing out. These playoffs have been fantastic.
Great.
And like the best thing ever is the pitch clock. These games, they fly by. They're like it's like 2.5 to 3 hours instead of 4. And so but the games themselves, I mean, they've been electrifying. The crowds have been into it. The Blue Jays, I was early September years old when I realized that the Blue Jays were at the top of the AL East.
I didn't know that either. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know that either.
And I didn't know Max Scherzer was there. And he's not even playing right now, but Scherzer's there.
And I didn't know this. They are good.
Yeah.
I think
I knew about Guerrero, but I didn't know about them other cats. And the Blue Jays are for real.
It appears that we're on a Blue Jays Dodgers collision course.
I think the Phillies. Milwaukee's legit too, but I think the Phillies are gonna. They're gonna make that.
They'll have something to say about it.
Because I mean that lineup with Schwarber. Schwarber. I mean he hit 2 more home runs last night. He probably should be the NL MVP, even though they're going to give it to Shohei. But Schwarber has had an amazing year.
he's having a postseason too. Like he's that good. I just don't know. Man, man, I didn't again. I'm finding because I don't watch baseball like that all season long.
I don't either.
But the Blue Jays look like a complete. We got everything we need to win this thing, and they're playing with house money. They really should have swept the Yankees. If we're being honest. They should have swept the Yankees.
Yeah, I mean they had 3 bad errors. They were 3 bad errors away from sweeping the Yankees.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't want to hear any. I will tolerate no Aaron Judge slander.
The man batted 500 in the series. You can't blame him.
He did his job. His team batted 200.
Now Giancarlo Stanton.
Fam, you make too much money to be batting like that.
Yeah,
way too much money to be batting like that.
And so many bad like first pitch outs.
Yeah,
I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like last night in the 8th, bases loaded, first pitch swing and pops out the short. I mean,
does Aaron Boone survive this?
I doubt it.
8 years. He's the only manager. I just heard that this morning. The only manager ever in the history of the Yankees to coach 8 years and not win a World Series.
The only way he stays is if some kind of reality sets in. Is like, we're gonna fire a manager a year after making the World Series. So, but it's the Yankees, and so I'd be stunned if he's back next year.
I have to concur. I don't.
He's one of their own. So which
it's Aaron freaking Boone.
Right.
It's Aaron freaking Boone.
He's one of their own.
Firing him makes no sense for any other team except the Yankees.
Right.
and that's his problem.
Yes.
That's his problem. There are 27 banners that say he should be fired.
Right.
So he's probably going to be fired. Okay. That's all I got, man. What do you got going? Who you shouting out? There's got to be somebody you shouting out. You like to shout people out. That's what you do. Who you shouting out, brother?
I really don't have too much right now. It's so busy. I can't really look at anything, man. Because like I said, I had UK basketball media day on Monday. Then they had their pro day on Tuesday. I'm working by myself all week. And so it's been rough. And so I really ain't got nothing. You give your shout out and maybe something will come to mind.
Well, I only have one, and that is shout out to women's volleyball as a whole. It has been phenomenal. I don't know what has happened to me in these last 4 or 5 years, but I am all in on women's volleyball. I'm all in.
You're not the only one. The ratings bear that out. That's why they're on national TV more and more.
Listen, I'm telling you, this is going to be a postseason for the ages because the top 8 teams are all very, very good, and it can go any way. As great as Nebraska is, as great as Texas is, both of them are very beatable this year. And it's not like last year where Texas was just so dominant and you were like, yeah, it's pretty much inevitable that they're going to win. This year, there's some teams. Stanford, listen, Louisville beat Stanford, and Stanford is really good.
They beat them in 4.
They beat them in 4, and Stanford is really, really good. I don't want you to think that Stanford's not good. They are very, very good. So I don't know. I honestly, it's a pick'em. It's a pick'em. I cannot wait until the playoffs start for women's volleyball. It's going. I
can tell you that somehow, some way, Nebraska and Louisville are going to be matched up at some point.
Without question, they will be on the same side of the bracket.
I'm surprised they didn't play each other in the regular season to begin with. But
listen, you got to save something for when it counts the most. And so I get it.
I also leaving it up to chance.
That too, because they may or may not make it. You're
right.
You're 1,000% correct on that. But yeah, I just wanted to give women's volleyball a shout out. The season's been incredible. I find myself even on Sunday sometimes peeking I know I got the 4 box going and I'm watching all these NFL games, but I'll peek my head in and like, oh wow, that was really good. Like it's just been great. It's been great. So I love that. I love what you said. Major League Baseball has been phenomenal.
Yeah, my shout outs to Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
The playoff, the Major League Baseball playoffs have been outstanding. Because I usually don't tune into the playoffs anyway, but even then, it's like lukewarm, and I'll watch more in the World Series. But I've been locked in since these playoffs have begun, and like every game has been fun.
It's been great. I could not have enjoyed it. Could not be enjoying it.
And we didn't even mention the Tigers and the Mariners, which has been a crazy series itself.
Also, yes,
Tigers started hitting. All of a sudden, it was home run derby yesterday for the Tigers. So it's just been crazy.
I think the Mariners are going to right the ship, but I don't know.
The thing is Detroit was one of the better teams in the AL all season and just fell apart at the end of the year. And now they're starting to look like they did earlier in the season. So it's hard.
Let's be very clear. The Mariners could not have put themselves in a worse position if they tried, because they had it and then they let the Tigers back in. And now, even though you're going back to Seattle, you got to face Skubal.
Yeah, and Skubal's been amazing all year.
Is it Skubal? Or I said Skubal, but
Skubal.
Skubal, okay. Skubal just sounds awful. That is an awful thing. Skubal sounds much better, but we'll go with Skubal because that's his actual name. That's not good. That's not a recipe. Now the blessing is that it's at home.
Mm-hmm.
So that Seattle crowd's going to be crazy. The atmosphere is going to be electric. You got the feature game, I think, tomorrow. So all eyes will be on you. So that'll be great. But oh man, that's a great pitcher. He's got a 1.84 ERA. So I good luck to you, Seattle. But they'll be talking about your collapse if you lose this game. And I'm just not convinced that. And he's a lefty, by the way. I forgot to mention that. He's a lefty.
Yes. Skubal's the real deal. Skubal's probably going to be the Cy Young Award winner.
I'm just saying, you had him. You had it right where you wanted it to be, and you didn't close. And now, I don't know. That could go either way.
Yep.
As a man who watched his Rangers go into Houston and beat their best pitcher on the last day because we had our best pitcher going, this feels very much like that. This feels very much because they got the momentum now. Detroit is shaking off. You're right. They were the best team in baseball. They let the thing slip away from them, but they look restored. And I if I'm Seattle, I'm very concerned. And by the way, they got George Kirby, who has a 3.6 ERA. Just saying. Go watch these games if you're missing out on it. Okay. I got nothing else. You got anything else?
I'm good. I'm good.
Guys, enjoy your weekend. It's going to be another great one. Shout out to the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, who will be having their homecoming this weekend. And if they booked the mighty Wingate Christian to go and play this weekend, almost certainly guaranteeing them. I was like, where is that? I don't even know
where is that. I'm guessing that's in Arkansas, I guess.
I have no idea where Wingate Christian University. We'll just look it up real quick. I have no idea where that is. I've
never heard of it.
I had never heard of it until they booked it, and I was like, who? What? And here's how. I don't say contrived. That's not the word I'm looking for. But, maybe contrived. I can use contrived. It works as well. Here's how contrived this is. It's not even on the original schedule that they sent out.
It sounds like soccer. That's what drives me crazy. Oh, I do have a shout out. We have a new UFL football team in Louisville. The Louisville Kings.
Yeah, you do.
The Louisville Kings.
Yeah, you do.
Owned by Mike Rapoli, the horse trainer who's never won the Derby.
One of the greatest kings of all time.
And their colors are emerald green. That has nothing to do with the city of Louisville.
And on that note,
yes,
On that very cringe-worthy note, we will depart from this show. That is the great Kendrick Haskins. You just missed Charlie Ward. I'm Lloyd Spence. Somebody cue the whistle.
Love, my dreams come true.